Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Green here, and welcome back to another video. We're going to open this one up with a fight against the boss Cyborg. We have here Deathstroke with Nora Snow Globe on him, so he can get that additional sweet percentage health damage. We have Batman Laughs with Sword of Salvation to generate some power and get faster in the final form, and the Sword of Salvation is at level 8. And we also have Sword of Sin on Red Hood at level 6, so you can get an idea about how much passive stats we're working with. And those artifacts are going to be either for passive stats or equipped on characters for every single team, so this is kind of a benchmark for the whole video, because for this team specifically it doesn't matter, because they are not doing any damage outside of their percentage health damage, especially considering this dude's high armor. And I'm not going to actively try to reduce it. Like Battle Class Special 2 can reduce it, but I'm just not going to actively try to. So Battle Flaps got all his percentage health out of the way there real quick. We're going to go with Deathstroke, and we ideally want to finish Deathstroke's percentage health damage before we tank the super move. Red Hood in there to tank to use his own super move to extend the duration, so we have all the time that we need to get those clones out there. The fact that his hazard power drains, it's going to be a little bit of a problem for us in this fight, because usually how you make the clone survive is that you keep backing up, and he will trigger that hazard from high range. So it's not going to be a great experience in that regard. Deathstroke back in there. Another special 2, 51 mil, a respectable amount of damage. Keep in mind, this dude started with full health, and he's got like the almost 2 mil level of health, so we're doing a decent job here. Even managed to combo and chop his ass. Deathstroke back in there, special 2. Gonna back off a bit, into another special 2. And yeah, now we're going to allow him to kill us, but ideally not with the special 2, because that kind of power drains, so... Though at the same time, the special 2, I'm not sure if... I think it does dot damage, and Deathstroke can take more from dot damage than from normal attacks, because the defense won't get in the way. Gonna get close here with the clone, our special 2 in there. Gonna back off. And I was greedy and I did not block there. I was not expecting to get hit by that. We got hit with another, let's say, power steal there. Or power drain, just power drain. Gonna keep backing off. And the other clone did not get off to a great start, because we got hit by some of that special. Now I'm trying to be very careful. Another special 2 in there where he's in a jump attack, and the super move will kind of be the end for that clone, but not the end of this fight, because we still have some time left. And even though we're going to deal close to no damage, we're going to try to make the best out of it. Thanking Battle Laughs for his infinite combo, or for the most part infinite combo, because this crap randomly doesn't work, and it doesn't work when you need the most to work. Like over here so far it worked flawlessly, and I didn't even need it to work flawlessly, it didn't matter at that point. Quite a fast transition over there into a block caught me a little bit off guard, but we're fine. Re-engage the combo there. Special 2, this actually applies Sunder, so we're going to do Armor Pierce on everything that we do from this point on, and this is a way to mitigate his high defense, though yet again the damage numbers are not really out there. I'm building up a little bit of a high combo. I want to attack Deathstroke in for super move. And yeah, there we go, that's gonna be about it for this fight, and we did a total of... unusual gameplay, my dudes! We did an unusual gameplay level of damage. So this fight kind of was one of the reasons why I did the video yesterday, and I got so pissed off. And everybody seems to have the same experience, as I was able to judge from the comments that I got for the past 2 days since the Advent of Chaos was out, that Deathstroke tends to get unusual gameplay in this, alright, like... It's a rampant problem. He gets it kind of every single time he uses Nora Snow Globe, and I'm not even sure how good he'll fare in that regard without Nora Snow Globe. So here we have the Batman Ninja team. With Brainiac, we have Grodd in there to deal some damage with the Beta Club. And look, in fights that are combo interruptible, you should not use the infinite combo and actually combo interrupt, because you're going to get more hits in there and stack more lethal attack damage. But trying to do this in this specific scenario over here actually made me deal far less damage. I should have just done the infinite combo in the corner, so just a little bit of a disclaimer. But as you know, Grodd is a legendary character, so he benefits from Brainiac. Grodd also is a Batman Ninja character, so he benefits from Robin, so he's got 2 ways to stack lethal up, and he's going to have Beta Club to get those high dot values with all the lethal stacking that he's able to do. Gonna get close here, we're trying to get him in the corner. Try to combo and chop there and succeeded there actually. I think that was very unfortunate because succeeding that first one kind of put me on a positive vibe about it and I was like, okay, we can do it. Kind of messed up a little bit there, but that's fine. We're trying to push him back to the corner. The swipe down there, re-engage the combo. And yet again I failed to combo interrupt him. Like, it's not impossible to combo interrupt because he's not just like Cyborg. Like, depending on the Cyborg characters, they are going to have a bigger or lesser advantage. And here we are able to infinite combo him from the 3-hit stagger, though that's not reliable and I shouldn't actively do it. And I got pushed a lot because of it, and we're going to struggle yet again to get him back in the corner. The dot damages are quite high already, but we could do so much better. Gonna back off here. Use the special there, and I was able to chain a combo yet again. And boy, would I have made my life so much easier if I started the infinite combo when I first got him into the corner. But yeah, we're finally doing it here. And this is gonna be far more damage because we actually hit him constantly, and hitting him constantly is going to stack the lethal attack damage from Robin's passive. And there we go, 18 mil. We got a little bit unlucky with the hits at the start, but 18 mil is kind of the point where, never mind, 21 mil, we can do better than that. And if I did this from the start, it would have resulted in far more damage, maybe, though I might be jumping the gun on that one, maybe even a one-shot. But yeah, sadly, it is what it is. We'll take what we can from here and go away. And again, this amount of damage would have been enough to kill this dude if the first fight did not get unusual gameplay. And this was kind of the game plan anyway for this team. This was kind of what I was intending to do. But yeah, the unusual gameplay just didn't want no business with that. Okay, so now boss Atrocitus, and this is the easy boss Atrocitus. I know, he's got the permanent hazard. Say, well, how is this the easy boss Atrocitus? Boy, have you forgotten about the boss Atrocitus in Dark Knight Soul Raids? Also, there's a little bit of a bug when you're in that hazard, and I noticed it here. So basically, when you're far away from the enemy, you can see it clearly here. If you don't press anything, your character will gap close towards the enemy by default. They will just almost teleport to the point, and that doesn't happen when they are in the non-removable hazard, we can call it that, of Atrocitus. That's what it usually happens with this thing, and I don't know why. It's kind of dumb because you're not snared, but you simply lose access to that specific feature. We had a little bit of a delay on the special tree there, but we're going to be fine. Engage the combo there. Combo interrupt him. Again, we have Nora Snow Globe on Conflant Sakumen, so hopefully we can get some damage out of that. And that's what we're trying to achieve here, letting Conflant Sakumen die. He got hit by a special one there. The first clone is out. Let's go, special train there. There we go, we already got 140 mil damage because of Nora Snow Globe, so I couldn't be happier. We need to be careful because his special one, even though it's kind of a hazard type of thing, can still kill us. Because there's a lot of moves that are similar to the Atrocitus special one that actually don't kill you, but this one kills you. A second special tree from this clone. Going to try and re-engage the combo there. And unavoidable super move there, so fat rip on that one. Now let's see how good we can do with the second clone. The first one got 2 special trees out of the way, maybe we'd have gotten the 4th one as well. The clone is in there, there we go. First one, let's go. Already dealing a massive amount of damage, so even if I didn't manage to do anything else but this, I would be happy with that outcome. Engage the combo there. Re-engage the combo yet again. It was swiped down there. And I actually got greedy and he triggered the special. I shouldn't have finished that into a swipe down because I was kind of trying to discern how safe it was to do a swipe compared to what he did in the previous backups. But in the previous backups I just backed off without a swipe down, so the difference between me and him was different there, the distance. So yeah, that sucked, that's a bad play on my part. But we're going to get King back in there to deal as much damage as he's able to. Again, we're kind of in, I think we're in Heroic 6, as far as I remember, so those dudes are pretty meaty in terms of health. So it will take a little bit of effort to punch through them. Combo interrupting there. You can't really combo interrupt with the clone because it will get killed by the hazard eventually, so that's not really an option. Not that I was very good at it, don't get me wrong, but that's not an option regardless. Another special tree in there. Combo interrupt again. Into another one. There we go. I mean, not great, not terrible. Could have definitely been a better scenario, but it was not meant to be. Now for the next fight we're going to use the League of Anarchy. So we have Dark Metal cards on Heartbreak Harley Quinn at level 6. We have the Sword of Salvation and the Sword of Sin that I talked about previously. Sword of Salvation is on API and we're going to make use of that here at the start to generate some power for Heartbreak Harley Quinn super move. And that's definitely going to help to shave off some time until we get to the point of getting that sorted out. And another thing that will be optimal for this fight is the Sword of Sin on Arkham Knight Batman. Because of that we're going to be able to keep this dude constantly power drained, and usually the only thing that the enemy is able to do after this point that you see here when we land the first stun is to do super move. And that messes up a little bit your damage until you get him back to the corner, but it's not gonna be the case here. Because he's not ever going to reach that amount of energy, and we're just going to pound him to oblivion in the corner with him having nothing to say about it. Boy, do I love the Heartbreak Harley Quinn League of Anarchy. Though don't get me wrong, like, something that I'm very happy about is the Heartbreak Harley Quinn League of Anarchy team and the Catwoman team being kind of the best teams out there without any of the pay-to-win artifacts, because, I mean, we're using Sword of Sin here, but you don't have to do this. Harley is doing amazingly well with Dark Metal cards, and Catwoman is doing amazingly well with the North Snow Globe, and there's some free artifacts that everybody can get, and I think it's a very good thing because they are the last, the artifacts from the last 2 Soul Raids, so it's a little bit of a shift in the dynamic of which we're receiving the free artifacts, because in Dawn of Apocalypse, like, Fatherbox was good. But then we had the Kryptonite Spear from Rise of Krypton, which was kind of meh, kind of useless at some points, maybe useful at some other points. Then we had the Chakra, which is one of the most dumpster fire useless artifacts in the entire game. And then we had Godkiller, which is pretty good, and then those two, which are kind of the best artifacts in the game, or one of the best artifacts in the game. So we are quite happy about that. Arkham Knight then back in for another stun. Harley back in there. We need to be kind of careful because one mistake in Harley is not gonna have a great time, but at the same time I don't really care because he's for the most part not gonna be able to do anything to Harley because she's getting tagged in from a stun. Like, worst case scenario, Arkham Knight Batman gets hit, and in that scenario he's gonna be fine. He's got plenty of health to spare and he's an absolute unit. I think if you account for his passive, he's got 69k health. I'm not joking, that's the exact same number, which is, by the way, the perfect number. But he's got 69k health base, but if you account for the passive and for the health that we have from artifacts, I think he's got around above 200k health. And that's quite huge, considering how much damage the bosses deal, which is not that much. But yeah, this is kind of the benchmark for the League of Anarchy in this Soul Raid for me. It simply doesn't get better than this. There's nothing I can do for it to get better than this. And it's going to be quite a good amount of damage. 818. Now with the Black Manta teams. So Manta over here, it's not even a question of if we want a combo interrupt or not. It's simply a question of we can't. Not even a question, a statement. We can't combo interrupt here, guys. Because it might look okay at this point to do so, but eventually the dot damage will get Manta to 1 health, and you can't really combo interrupt with 1 health because you're going to die, because you take some damage while you combo interrupt. So we have Sword of Salvation on him at level 8, we have level 6 Sword of Sin, and we have a level 1 Trigon Staff for the 3rd artifact passive stats, which is not great, but still something in addition. And Manta would have done far more with the Dark Metal cards or with the Jokerized Batrank. Those would have been far better choices for him in terms of damage than the Sword of Salvation, but yes, sadly, it's not gonna be a possibility. And there I tagged in Vixen to buy him some time to get some more energy because he was not quite ready to do a special tree there, and combo interruption, as I said, was not an option. But from this point on, he shouldn't struggle with power generation because now the power generates faster because we're in the 2nd minute, and it also generates faster with for the opponent. And since we steal this, this is going to be extra powerful. And yeah, my boy Manta is doing some work for himself. Like, lately I haven't given him Brainiac at all because I'm using Brainiac with a lot of other stuff, like with maybe Mr. Freeze sometimes, maybe Grodd sometimes, and lately I've noticed that Mr. Freeze works far better with Raven alone, without the implication of Brainiac, and I kinda like the Grodd Brainiac type of gameplay. Like, I talked about that in the past, and I think it might actually be a valid way to play that, and a valid way to play Brainiac if you don't place it with Raven or Mr. Freeze. And Grodd seems to benefit a little bit more from it than Manta does, to the point where I'm getting more damage out of the Batman Ninja team than the additional damage that he would have given to Manta. So I think I'm gonna keep doing it like that. And I still haven't gotten a proper fight to test out the Batman Ninja team Brainiac pip, because I usually use it for cleanup. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of 1 mil worth of damage cleanup, but I wonder if with, let's say, optimal scenario and optimal gameplay, it could reach 2 billion health, 2 billion damage, because then it could one-shot anything, and that would be great. Another special tree in there. Re-engage the combo. And yeah, when you get to this level of heroic, it's more of a question of how many targets can you one-shot and how many teams you need to clean up the rest. And if that would be the case, if Grodd would be able to one-shot, then we would have a one-shot with Raven, or 6 pips, a one-shot with that team, and then the other 2 teams are going to go kill a boss and maybe even damage another. That would be great. And yes, sadly it was barely not enough damage, sadly, but that was as far as I could push my Manta. I don't think we saw too much of a mistake. So yeah, boss Catwoman, she should have been dead a long time ago, because I fought her with Raven Brainiac with Beta Club on Raven, and there's no way you mess that up except if you are me and you equip, as I said in the previous video, the artifacts of Rise of Krypton instead of the proper artifacts or the passive stats. But yeah, now we have the proper artifacts. We have Sword of Salvation on Raven, we have the level 6 Sword of Sin on Classic Wonder Woman, and we have the Beta Club on Mr. Freeze, and that should lead to some decent amounts of damage, and already 26 mil damage. And keep in mind, this is like how many 3 Raven stacks, and not even halfway towards the Mr. Freeze passive, 31 mil. Like, Mr. Freeze plus Raven is getting crazy high amounts. Like the Batman Who Laughs Beta Club interaction that got previously nerfed level of damage. And I think we lost the stacks there with Raven, because I was not paying attention. But it is what it is, we have plenty of time to kill her. And that alone took a huge chunk out of her health, so she's not seeing a bright future here. Another special one in there. Power steal a bit, another special one. 4 stacks and 5 stacks right before tagging. Let's see how much we can push Mr. Freeze on 5 stacks here. Not a great tagging. Jump attack into special 2, trying to freeze her. There we go, she's frozen. Jump attack 100, 200 mil dots. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
This is the future.